The NRL is once again facing a fresh disaster, with Cronulla Sutherland and their salary cap being in the news. They have breached it in previous years, but apparently not this year. Willie, what's the worst thing that can happen here?
Mate, the worst thing can happen is they'll get kicked out of the comp and they'll miss the semi-finals.
You're telling me they're going to get kicked out of the comp over that?
I've been in this situation before. It happened 4 weeks out in 2002. We're in the exact same predicament. We got all our points taken off us. Whoever was coming ninth moved to eighth, and everyone just moved straight up.
You're potentially saying the Tigers could be moved.
Tigers could be, mate. I wouldn't be planning Mad Monday if I was the Tigers, because if the Sharks are guilty and they're going to make a ruling by the end of this week. So if they're done, they're out. They've already made the rules. The rules are already there from 2002. They've done it to Melbourne. They've got an asterisk next to their name in 2007 and 2009. So
you don't think it's going to be a fine? It's going to be straight, you're out. Because it's only $50K when you think about it. And Chris Hyington apparently doesn't know anything about it. Wayne Beavis, his manager, also said that everything that's been declared that he knows from his end. And
it's going to get messy. It'll get messy. Like it's what I've heard. They haven't got long but they're going to have to make a big. Todd Greenberg's got a massive decision. Him and the little NRL people that make all them big decisions. They're going to have to make one, because look at Melbourne's going to be riding you. Parramatta's going to be riding you. The Bulldogs will be still filthy from 2002.
My understanding is that the years in question, 2015, which is the year before they won the comp, and 2017. Now, Greenberg's saying that there's no real issues with this year's cap, that it's just... Now, conveniently, it's the 2 years where they didn't win a comp in the current year. You know, they're bad in 2015, 2017. So that's a convenient narrative for them. Yeah. But I think what they're saying is that this year they are cap compliant. There's no issue with that. My point is, if they weren't compliant last year, who have they lost? Like, what has changed that they've actually bought Aaron Woods this year?
Yeah.
I mean, so
part of his deal is being taken care of by the Bulldogs as well.
But who has gone that has then allowed that free space?
Yeah, you're right too. That's a valid question, isn't it? I mean,
they've upgraded a lot of players. They've upgraded a heap of players. I mean, like Luke Lewis is retiring, but Wade Graham's come up. They lost Byrne, but I mean, they've got these other young kids. They got Moylan. Like they've actually built a stronger team.
Dugan.
You've got all these players like Fafita. They've got a gun side. So they've got a great one of the best rosters, and I feel sorry for the players in this situation, because if you're 18 years old or you're 30 years old, you don't give a fuck where your money's coming from, as long as your money's coming in.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's,
how do these situations
what
play out? How do they play out? Like, everyone knows, okay, third-party deals and what have you, people go over the line. How does it potentially happen here? Is it all via the agent, or does
it is via the agent. Yeah. I've never seen a bloke go in there one-on-one with the CEO and go, look, this is what I'm worth, this is what I get, and it's done. That's what your manager's there for. He goes in there, he does the deal, and you don't give a shit where your money's coming from. All you know is X, Y, and Z, where it's getting, what your base is.
So when you get the money, you're getting the money from the manager. Is this what you're telling me?
No, you're getting it from the club. You get a contract and everything like that.
But I'm talking about the brown paper bag, so to speak.
Well, you don't know where that's coming from, and you don't give a fuck either.
Yeah.
You just play the game. You play the game hard, and you just go, well, this is how much they're giving you. If it comes from over there, it comes from over there. You don't give a shit.
I think brown paper bags, like people talk about that in the old Roosters and brown paper bags. I don't think that in the modern era, blokes are turning up with cash.
But what about with Manly? There was talk that Manly plays a few years back. I can't remember the specific year, so you can't hold up my... These words don't have too much weight, but I remember hearing about a car park and $40,000 cash in a paper bag being handed to a player
Willie Mason.
on his way.
There's the bag on the table.
It's known to happen, and this was only I think in 2015.
That's the thing. There's always rumours of brown paper bags and this and that. But there's third-party deals. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So you're not involved in any of these negotiations as a player. All you know is your money's coming from this person, from the club, and this person. And all you get told is they're third-party deals. And that's it. You don't care. Right. If you're a player, you just don't care. It's just like, all right, I'm getting this amount of money, and that's all you care about. You've got families, you've got a family to feed, you've got people to supply for, and you want the most out of yourself, and like you just don't really give a fuck about where your money's coming from. Seriously.
On that note, can I ask, what does everybody think of the actual salary cap as a concept? What do you think of it?
It works. The salary cap has worked because have a look at the top 8 sides. Anyone can win the comp. You have a look at the bottom 8 sides. You're going, why the hell is Manly, North Queensland, Canberra, and all these sort of teams down there, and the Dogs? So it has worked. So the cap has gone up ridiculous. Since I started, I think it was 3.1. It's tripled. It's tripled in 10 years. It's tripled.
3 or something.
So the cap does work, but there's only a few clubs that are trying to, curve around it and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but look, everyone tries to do what they got to do. Everyone does their due diligence in terms of forensic accounting and all these sorts of things to keep yourself compliant on the books. Like, there's clubs that get away with it for years. Guys like the Roosters, and people who have, very accomplished businessmen at their clubs.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you get a turnover of people in your administration. And one person is a little bit pissed off and he knows something that went on, whether it be 50 grand, whether it be 10 grand, 5 grand, 100 grand. Yeah. If he's pissed off, then he's going straight to the media.
Well, what about Barry Pearce? I mean, he's a new guy into the club then. He's self-reported to the NRL over this. So maybe there is some truth to that. Because why would you go self-report? Why would you put your club in the shit knowing that it's just coming out from finals time?
And with all the resources...
obviously there must have been some sort of conflict.
With all the resources as a game we try to put in to find salary cap breaches, why didn't somebody in the NRL find this 2-3 years ago?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is it waiting for somebody to come forward?
You can't get rid of them for the finals this year over something that happened a couple of years ago, especially because they're compliant now.
Has there ever been a sport where there are that many consistent fuck-ups over salary cap?
Yeah.
Well, I just... if you look at any sport in the world, rugby league is the only sport, and it happens a couple of times every year.
I'm an anti-salary cap man. I'll tell you why. I think it's fundamentally wrong as a principle. So the 4 of us sat around the table... It'd be fundamentally wrong for the Australian government to say we all have to spend the same amount of money on clothes, houses, right? I think about somebody like Willie and the other NRL players. Constantly every year, the game is asking more and more out of them. It's making them play on a Sunday and then back up on a Thursday. It's putting shot clocks on them so that they have to get in a scrum quicker or kick a ball quicker. Yeah. It's making them fly to Denver for a test and then asking them to play a test. And it's asking more and more and essentially paying them less. And I've got another point as well. Sonny Bill Williams, without the Rugby League salary cap, are you telling me he'd have walked away from Rugby League during his career?
The cap at the time, that he was being offered $400,000 a season. A player of that talent should not be paid that much amount of money. After taxes, after agent fees and all that crap, he'd be pulling out, 170? 180?
People just think, just say when we were playing, $500,000 was a lot of money. That was one of the highest paid, $550,000, $600,000. Exactly, 48 cents out of the dollar, your tax man, you got to pay your agent. You end up with probably, you talk 180, 200,000 of your own money, which is a lot of money. But people think 500,000 or 1.5 mil over fucking 4 years. Yeah. It's nothing.
Interestingly, I think that the NRL's just shoved through a little rule about players' agents. So in November they're going to have a lot more of a focus on player agents. And to me, player agents are the dark arts. I actually would like to, I think at one stage we should do an actual show on it, because I think player agents are the biggest grubs out of anyone in the game. They manoeuvre players to fit where their coach is.
Yeah, but they would say that they have got their clients' best interests at heart.
Do they though?
Yeah, but this is what they're saying. They held the Tigers to ransom, what is it, a few years ago, what was it, Isaac Moses, who had over 5 people on his books there. Yeah, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a business negotiation. Both sides want to get the best for themselves.
My issue with player managers is that they are licensed to be player managers. They become quasi-financial advisors for these players, and they're all grubs, and they have no fucking idea. And what they do is they funnel players...
Can you stop swearing?
Is that your job?
Yeah.
This is one I'm passionate about. No. Honestly, they funnel people's money into shady investments where they're getting a kickback, and it's wrong.
But look, at the end of the day, they become quasi-business partners with the players because they're looking after the money. But look, whoever's being paid whatever amount of money, they have the right to invest with whoever they want to. In the NFL, in America, you see a lot of stories where players go broke because they are actually getting really shady people to look after their money. But I think essentially, technically, the player agent is there for the player.
Your manager looks up, and it depends where you are in the pecking order in rugby league. You know, if you're Jonathan Thurston or if you're a person who's just about to hit first grade, they get treated like a piece of shit, pretty much. But JT, Greg Inglis, all these sort of big dogs, they get treated like gods. I mean, you tell your manager what to do, Tell them how high, you know what I mean? Like they'll jump over fucking hurdles for you. They'll do anything for you. But that's only if you're a big dog. If you're a middle of the pack sort of player, they don't really give a shit about you. Yeah. And I've seen it happen. I've known player managers. I've had some of the best player managers. Sam Ayub's, he's a great mate of mine, and he's a great manager.
He's manager now, isn't he? Yeah.
You know, like Greg Keenan, he was good. Like all these sort of guys they always looked after me. But I think maybe because I was at a different level of playing.
Yeah, of course.
Then the smaller
They're heavily
blokes.
invested in you, and you are an investment.
Yeah. So like I understand where you're coming from, where they do ill-advised, and I think at the moment now, players are more onto it. They're a lot more cluey than the guys 10, 15 years ago that were just going, we'll give you, here's 50 grand, we'll go into a unit, here's 100 grand. Like I know a lot of players that lost 200,000-300,000 just on some units and all this dumb shit where I knew the managers were getting kickbacks. Yeah. You know, and they were getting like probably 500,000 kickback. The guys didn't even make their money off it. You know, and that pisses me off. So, but them sort of managers, they're not around now.
Yeah. It's my understanding the player agent boom happened in Rugby League around about the time of the Super League War.
That's where they come in.
So the game split. So people were saying, 100,000 for that kid, 100,000. So there was a lot of dollar to be in. And we're talking about the dark arts, and I think it's always fair to try and look at both sides of the story, innocent till proven guilty and all that. I think they're all scrapping for the dollar again, and I'm going to bring this conversation full circle because of the salary cap.
Yeah.
It's actually restricted how much money you can get out of this game. There's a limit to it. So if everybody follows the salary cap, every single club, you times that by 16, and that's how much money is swirling around the game at any time. Yeah. So it stands to reason that human nature, everyone's going to scrap for every little bit of that they can and go to any length that they can. So I bring it back to the salary cap. I think it's causing
and the whole thing is like rules are just they're meant to be broken. And there's always it comes from when you're a little kid, and then if you're a big dog and you're a CEO, if you're an owner of a club, and you can get away with it. Yeah. Like I know some clubs that can get away with it because they're that professional. They can get away with it, and they've been doing it for years.
They've got people close to them,
and they never bring outsiders in. That's why they keep doing it. Yeah. But there's these other clubs that aren't professional enough, and they keep bringing. It's like a little merry-go-round of coaches and administrators and CEOs and general managers. If you keep bringing all these people in, they've got big mouths because they end up getting sacked, and then they know about a player getting paid 50 grand or 100 grand. Yeah. So that's what brings clubs down. Yeah. I'm not condoning it and saying just stay solid, but this is what happens.
One has to question why Barry Pearce would have gone and self-reported. Maybe he was...
He's trying to save his own ass.
Maybe he's an NRL guy. Maybe he's an NRL guy. Maybe he thought if this came out down the line, and then he would be a jeopardy.
Well, he's probably playing the game. He knows if he goes to the NRL and goes, look, these guys are... I don't know what's going on. I'm new. Yeah. He saves his ass.
The
first one to go is the CEO.
Where does that leave him with the other people at the club, though?
Well, the trust is done. Trust is done. Yeah. And then he'll probably never work again.
No, he honestly, he'll be fine because he's followed the process as he should.
That's
I think
right.
The only issue that Cronulla have got now is whether or not this affects their tilt at the premiership. And I think Cronulla legitimately are one of the favourites. And I think if you look at the peptides, if you look at all of those things, this is a club that knows how to fight through adversity.
I'm pissed off at the administration. Like the players don't know where their money's coming from. As I said, like I've been involved in clubs where this has happened, and you just have no idea, you just don't care. And I mean, you're talking like Gallon's on, first was probably got another 5 years left in him, but like Fafita and all these sort of guys, and they're a great bunch of blokes, and they're going to make a massive run for it. Potentially, the worst case scenario is they get all their points taken off them and they end up coming last, because I know the worst case scenario because it happened to us. It's going to be a big call, and they have to have fine. I mean, we were $3 million over the cap.
Only $1 or $2 quid.
So only just over the cap. Only just. I don't know what you're blowing up about, Gallup. Jesus Christ. But but I just think.
How did that affect your dressing sheds? How did it affect morale?
I didn't want to play. Like I just thought, what's the use? We had 4 games to go, so they had a fair while to sort of make a ruling. This time they've got a week. Yeah. They play this game, and then they're going to make a judgment call and go, look, does Cronulla Sharks play in the semi-finals? Do they deserve to play in the semi-finals? Because $50,000 or $2 million, you're still cheating the cap.
Yeah, that's right. But then again, they've been investigating for a few months, Iain, as well.
Yeah.
And you think about it, if they really wanted to deal with this in a roundabout way, they would have waited till the season was over.
How did they deal with Parramatta?
Yeah, that's right. Well,
they just fined them, didn't
that's
they?
Right.
Did they lose any points?
No, they did lose points.
Well, then this is what I'm worried about. If they lose 10 points, 12 points, 16
you're
points,
right.
they're out of the 8.
Yeah, but it's not this year. This is what that's what my argument is based on. Okay, if you're going to hold it back from 2015 to 2016, which whatever years it was, surely it should be representative in a fine. Okay, I'm
just saying. I just think if you go back to you look at Melbourne, you look at the Bulldogs, you look at Parramatta, they all lost points.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.